Hello, dear friends. We were discussing on putting data to effective use, a great challenge by Dr. Satish K. Tripathi. Actually, he was delivering a lecture on the occasion of convocation ceremony organized by IIT Kanpur. During his speech, he discussed many things related to network, computer, explosion of information, how can be this information expanded, and how analyze the information properly. So these are some important points he was discussing in his speech. This comes with great challenges as well as tremendous opportunities for you. That means the students were present there as the future leaders of business, industry, and the academy. Up to this paragraph, we have seen or we have discussed his speech in my last video. On the other hand, there is an unprecedented amount of knowledge, information, and data at our fingertips and ready to be shared anytime, any place. And with the rise of mobile networks and social media, this explosion of big data is not slowing down. It's really just getting started. We can share very easily all kinds of information within a fraction of a second because all these gadgets are with us now. And this is not reducing because every day every person tries to improve this data by adding some additional information in that. So it's really just getting started. The problem is that our intellectual resources have not kept pace with this information explosion. Almost everybody knows about information explosion in the world. But our youth, what he says, intellectual resources have not kept pace. So this intellectual resources are not keeping their pace with that explosion of information. So we do not currently have sufficient intellectual capacity to make informed decisions about this flood of data. Dr. Tripathi rightly says that we don't have the capacity to cope up with this explosion of information or to harness it effectively. As the sheer amount of information grows, the problem of how to manage and use it wisely grows as well. It is quite necessary that if the information is growing rapidly and faster, so you should also be able to get all this information, understand all this explosion of information, and you must be able to how wisely you should use it. This capacity should also be developed by the youngsters. By the year 2020, annual data production is expected to grow by times its current amount. Annual data production means each and every person is adding something to this annual data, and that is counted annually. So by the end of 2020, the ratio of adding annual data that will be developed, that will be increased. Today 3 billion people are connected to the internet. Actually these figures are not today's figures. These figures were I think 2016's, when he was delivering a lecture. Now 2021 we are studying. In the year 2021, 3 billion people, that is 30 crores, are connected to the internet. By the year 2020, it is estimated that 7.5 billion devices will be connected to the internet. 8 zettabytes of new data was created last year alone. More than in the previous 5,000 years combined. More than in the previous 5,000 years combined. Means if we collected the data in figures of last 5,000 years, we can easily differentiate the data collected in or created in last year and last 5,000 years. Sorting through this data and putting it to effective use rather than being overwhelmed by it is an even greater challenge. So sorting out the data, or sorting through this data and putting it to effective use is also a great challenge. We need knowledgeable leaders like you, educated experts who can help business and industry understand how to translate this information into usable intelligence, and how to move from simply collecting to strategically connecting data to make valuable insights and discoveries. What exactly our requirement? The requirement is we need experts who can analyze, identify this data for the purpose of business and industry, who can translate this information into usable intelligence, or how this data can be converted into valuable insights and discoveries. This is the great challenge, but we need some experts in this field. Data science is increasingly playing a critical role as a research tool. A large data is available in the field of science that can be used in research sector also. For example, in astronomy, it is helping to identify new stars and galaxies. Astronomy, that is the science of the universe, where you can study stars and galaxies and others. In material science, the field of biodata analytics is helping to design new materials that are transforming how people live and work around the world. In material science, we can use this data with the analysis of this data that will be helpful to design new materials that are transforming how people live and work around the world.